G'day, welcome to the show, 4350 TV, Daryl here, and Mr. Graham Rayner. How are you, Graham?
I'm really good, thanks.
Mate, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to have you here, and we've been talking for a while, but mate, 2016 Carnival Heritage Bank Carnival Flowers is coming up. It's only around the corner.
8 weeks away.
8 weeks, okay, and if you don't know who Graham is, he wears this yellow vest every carnival. He's trouble. He's the Grand Parade Marshal, so keep an eye out for him. But mate, how are the plans going for the parade?
Really good, really good. I had a couple of meetings. I had
Yep.
one last night with my volunteers,
Yep.
and because I've got a great band of volunteers: the SES, the police,
Yep.
Rotary,
Yep.
Apexians, and a bunch of civilians. That I call them civvies because I've given them some other name.
Yep.
They're a great crew, and what I love about them
Yep.
is that we have these meetings, we do the parade,
Mm-hmm.
and after the parade we have their little muck-ups.
Yep.
And after the parade they'll come over and say, Graham, such and such happened, and this is what we did to get round it.
Yep.
But next year what we'll do is, and that's great, that keeps me going because I couldn't do it on my own.
No.
And my involvement with the parade goes back quite a while, nearly half a century really.
Nearly 50 years. 50
Yeah.
years you've been doing the parade.
Yeah.
Involvement. Yep.
Well, if we go back to, I worked at Myer.
Yep.
When I first got out of the army,
Yep.
I worked at Myer.
Yep.
And we used to have a fashion parade in Myer,
Yep.
right, the Myer fashion parade. And what
Remember
we
that.
used to do in the old Myer situation was that we used to clean the fashion area out.
Yep.
At close of trading,
Yep.
at the close of trading, none of this
Yeah, no.
knocking off early.
Yep.
Close of trading, we'd take it in, we'd put in the catwalk,
Okay.
and we used to put thousands of chairs
Okay. Yep.
in there. And it was a no smoking situation, like we had to deem it no smoking.
Yeah.
In those days you could smoke anywhere
No,
you like,
yeah.
but it was just no, because I was always petrified that what would we do with all those people to get them out
There was
if
a
we
fire.
had some drama like
Mhm.
that. But anyway, we used to clear the fashion area out.
Mm-hmm.
We'd set it all up, the chairs and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then at the end of the fashion parade, when everybody went home all happily in that, we would take it all out again.
Yep.
And put everything back in.
Yep.
Right? So that you wouldn't know that there's been any change.
Yep.
And then be expected to turn up at work next morning.
Yeah, there you go.
We
Unreal.
used to do that.
Yep.
And we eventually, from the Myer situation, we used to top models from Brisbane and all
Yeah.
that kind. And Myer used to donate all that money to the carnival because the carnival was standing on its own feet in
Mhm.
those days. And what happened with the carnival fashion parade
Yep.
after a while is that we then put it up in one of the halls after that,
Okay.
right? Because it become bigger and
Yeah,
bigger,
great.
and then it's lost its way.
Yeah.
Myer didn't want to do it anymore,
Yeah.
and all. But I'd left Myer by that stage, and I was working for a television station
Yep.
called Darling Downs Television,
Yep.
and poor old Darling Downs Television, because I got really involved in the Carnival Flowers.
Yep.
And you know the old saying, don't talk about the war.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was that they used to say, don't talk about the parade round Rayner, for God's sake. Don't mention the parade.
You're passionate about it. You love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved it
Yeah.
because what Myer had is that with Tony, who was our display manager,
Mhm.
that we decided we'd put in a float.
Yep.
And this was the Myer staff
Yep.
that had come up with this. So we built this boat, and actually it's still in the parade today. The float it had numerous changes of names and all that. And I put the audio in it.
Okay.
So we can broadcast that Myer was a wonderful place to shop
Yeah.
at and all that sort of jazz. And in amongst that, a chap come in there one day who'd been in the army with me.
Mm-hmm.
He was still in the army, I volunteered out. And he was talking about the parade.
Yep.
And he said, that army people were good people to work with, and I got talked into becoming a part of the parade.
Yep.
My first area of responsibility was the Queen's Park,
Okay.
and this is what you call on-job training. I said to this chap who passed away a couple of years ago, that I said to him, now what do I do? And he said, well, if the floats get to Queen's Park, you park them in Queen's Park.
Yep.
If they don't get to Queen's Park, you haven't got a problem.
All right.
That was my
That was your
on-job
instructions,
training.
yep.
And in those days, we used to start down near the foundry.
Yep.
We used to go up Ruthven Street,
That's right. Yep.
across the top,
Yep.
down Hume Street,
Yep.
all the way down, turn right into the park.
Yep.
Now what we used to do is we used to halfway along the park, we used to turn and go in and head up the hill,
Okay. Yep.
and then come up onto the parade ground at the top there. That was a bit of a problem
Yep.
because I think a lot of clutches and things like that burnt
Yeah,
out
yeah.
going across that section there. And then eventually, with more involvement from my volunteers and that, we then changed the parade route round, so
Okay.
it started up the top and went down,
Downhill
all the way
Nice.
down. And then by not telling the council what we wanted, but sort of making little suggestions to them, then they put an opening in the corner for us so you could drive in there.
Excellent, great stuff. So over nearly 50 years you've been doing it, over 50 years.
Oh,
So
it's 40
you've got it
yeah.
pretty well down tacked. I've been involved for the last 5 years or so with my association with Jimmy House from August
Yeah,
at stages.
yeah.
And Amanda and I have called it for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
And looking forward to doing it again this year. I do thank you for that. So you wear the vest on the day. This is Graham's vest. He's brought this along. So you keep an eye out for this guy. He's Grand Chief Parade Marshal. So he looks after the whole thing with the SES, and they're very good. And
Yes,
the police are great to work with.
Yeah,
That's him.
the SES blokes, the two of the main blokes from SES
Yeah.
have been involved with it all for
Yeah.
years.
They're
And
great guys.
a great part of the changing round, because we're always coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
Some other person come up with the idea of moving the parade from midday till 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
and no correspondence has been entered into that.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one alone.
Yeah.
But some of the things that we introduced
Yeah, so where are we now?
to make life run. Now this is out of date now, but just to give you an idea, these are all colour coded, and that shows when those streets are closed off, when these streets were closed off, and these were basically come up for the police,
Yep.
the ambulance, and the fire brigade, in case they had to try and get somebody in or out
Yep.
in those period of time. So what happens is the police all have a major sized one of these. SES have that as well. And over the years we've come up with ways that of the security cameras and all that that Jimmy Asprey was very involved in getting them in. That's become a great part of helping on that. As I said, with SES, I couldn't do it without SES, and can't do it with Rayner and my lines people. The lines have always had their lines float and all that kind of thing. And the beautiful part about it is that we try to get it to run as smooth as possible and make it just as easy. But we were talking about calling the parade before. Now that was an idea that we come up with, that previously you had just one microphone in front of town hall, in what I call the cheap seats, right? And if you're part of the mayoral party and all that, you knew what was going on. But if you're at the head of the parade, you could hear on ABC that used to do it in those days. You could hear something about a float that went past you 10 minutes ago, and you're so by. And the other, many byproducts. One of the big products of having those, and I'm hoping to have 15 points this
15
year.
points on the parade.
15, right along with that, is it spreads the crowd.
Yep.
So instead of being 40 deep in one place, it's down different sizes.
That's great.
Along the parade.
Okay.
And they're all scripted.
Yeah.
They're all scripted so that the float that you're looking at, you know what it is, and they've got a number on it, so the person that's reading says, oh, this is float 27, and they can see. and I try to have the parade move at the speed,
Yep.
at the speed. So not only do you see the front of the float,
Yep.
but you see the side of the float,
Yep.
and you see the rear of it.
Right. Okay. So it stops. It starts at the top of Harry Street.
Yes.
And then rolls down Harry Street into Rutherford,
Yes.
turn
Down to Margaret.
turning north into Rutherford, and then going to go turn right into Margaret
Right
Street.
into Margaret,
Yep.
and then goes left into Hume.
Yep.
And then up, and then diagonally into Queen's Park.
Great stuff. So the parade this year is on September 17th.
17th.
Yes, and it's at 3:00.
At 3 o'clock.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So, mate, it's going to be great. And you're planning. Graham plans this parade from the one from last year.
Yeah.
So as soon as it finishes the 2015, planning's into 2016.
Well, we have a debrief,
Yep.
and we go and we talk
Yep.
about what went wrong, what we not so much what went wrong,
No,
as what
just
we can improve on.
How we can do better.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the thing, because my army training taught me along the lines
Yep.
that you don't make a complaint unless you've got a solution.
That's right.
And all my troops work back. My meetings run exactly 1 hour.
Yep. Oh, good.
Right? And that way I get a total attendance all
Yep.
the time. And usually what happens is that the involvement of the people and their want to succeed in this is that if they're leaving Apex, they've usually got another guy that's going to take
Yeah,
over, and they
yeah.
drag him along
Right.
or her along. And some of my volunteers have been with me from, not necessarily from day one,
Yep.
because as I said, in my involvement, I've only been the Chief Parade Marshal for about 35, 36 years, I think.
Only new. Yep. Okay.
And yeah,
Okay. Well, mate, I'm looking forward to it, and I really am excited that you've invited Toowoomba 435 ATV to sit on one of the stages, and we'll record that live. So as we get closer, we'll push up some ads about the
that'd
parade
be great.
and reach out there. Graham, look, thanks for coming on the show. Looking forward to the carnival. Appreciate your time today.
No problem.
And look, our friend, the parade marshal, will have his yellow on, and
Yeah.
he'll be driving through the crowd. But
I usually have a red face and swearing and carried on, but you'll still recognise me from the yellow vest.
looking forward to it. The 2016 Heritage Bank Carnival Flowers, and the parade is going to be sensational. 17th of September, 3:00 start. Look forward to seeing you then, mate. We'll catch up before the parade and talk again. So until then, see you guys. Take care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Graham. Cheers.